Hey folks, Keric here, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Quantum Conundrum from Airtight Games and published by Square Enix. Simply put, Quantum Conundrum is a puzzle platformer based around using dimensions to manipulate everyday objects such as tables, sofas and safes. Well, not exactly everyday there, but you get the point. These objects can then be used to solve puzzle rooms and allow you to progress further into the mansion, in the hope that it's not too late to save your dear old uncle. There are 5 dimensions in total, and you discover those as you make your way through the various wings of the mansion. These include the normal dimension, which is this dimension where everything is kind of normal. Normal as can be in Quantum Conundrum. Then we have the fluffy dimension, where everything is cute, fluffy, and weighs 10 times less than normal. The gravid wolfram dimension, or heavy for short, where even the smallest thing is monumentally heavy and crafted out of some kind of metal. The slow dimension, where time passes at a snail's pace. And finally the reverse gravity dimension, where gravity works in reverse. Yeah, you probably could have worked that one out on your own. The game itself has a very Portal feel to it, which isn't surprising since one of the team who worked on Portal, Kim Swift, also worked on this project too. However, that's not a bad thing, and you're not left with a feeling of, oh my god, they copied Portal, more of a subtle flavour weaving its way through the game. In terms of similarities, you're in a first-person perspective and never get to see yourself. A weird disembodied voice is your sole companion, and there's a lot of science going on around you. However, instead of using 2 portals to weave a path through obstacles, you're now able to use the 5 dimensions and pretty much anything laying about to help you make progress. Style of the game is pretty and cartoony, and there's not a lot wrong with that. The rooms in the mansion itself can feel a little samey. Same couches, same tables, same safes, but it's explained away by the use of Dolly, a robot which replicates furniture and other items, so it's not such a big deal. Most of the items will respond to you changing dimension anyhow, with items gaining a nice fluffy coat in fluffy dimension, or being created out of steel in heavy. One thing I really did like was the attention to small details that comes with the game. I've already mentioned items changing depending on which dimension you're currently in, but this effect can be most blatantly seen when looking at paintings in the game. These react with every dimension change, giving a total of 5 versions for each painting, which is a really nice touch and often pretty funny to boot. Sticking with the idea of details in the game, the developers have spent a fair amount of time retitling books. On your travels you'll find books which have vaguely memorable names, and these relate to real world books which were scienced up for the game. For example, Jurassic Park becomes Jurassic Quark in game. The Wizard of Oz becomes the Wizard of Osmium. The Lord of the Rings becomes Time Lord of the Rings, and in a game which references Doctor Who is okay in my book. Get it? Oh, sod you then. Aside from the graphics and details included in the game, the mainstay is of course the puzzles. These are on a good learning curve in my opinion. You'll certainly spend a few seconds or possibly minutes scratching your head and thinking it's impossible. Then once you stop and apply the dimension rules to the situation, comprehension dawns like a star going nova. This nicely placed learning curve gives a great feeling of accomplishment as you make your way through the rooms of the mansion, and increases as you gain access to increasing numbers of dimensions. Last but not least, we come to the audio. With John Delancey, aka Q from Star Trek The Next Generation and many other shows, voicing your uncle, albeit in a disembodied form, the game manages to convince you that he's a mad scientist, and yet not too mad. He's family, so can be trusted and listened to, but still wacky enough to make random puns about science-related matters. All in all, a good, funny and believable performance, which only adds to the feel of the game. One of the features I actually felt was good was the interactive nature of his commentary. Sure, you get the standard conversations as you walk through, but sometimes you get extra dialogue about family members or inventions as you mouse over paintings or items within the mansion, which I felt was a nice touch, giving you extra information if you wanted it, but not requiring it. Vocal talent aside, the music of the game is good but not widespread. The music mainly tends to be a variation on the main theme of the game, with a few extra bouncy, nondescript pieces playing as you progress through the game. It doesn't intrude, but apart from the main theme, it's not hugely memorable either. I don't think it's bad per se, just a little forgettable, but I suppose in a puzzle game, being distracted by the music is a bad thing anyway. All in all, this is a good, solid, well-polished puzzler, and I really enjoyed playing it through to the finish. Unfortunately, the end of the game is very disappointing, reverting to a few comic book style stills and a voiceover. Disappointing end to a great game really, but if you can put that aside, Quantum Conundrum is definitely worth a play. I've been Keric the Pally. This has been a look at Quantum Conundrum. Oh, and here's Ike.